Why the duck are you wearing Skechers with a suit to work every day, Andrew? It's ducking comfy, damn. What is a really inappropriate question you have always wanted to ask? Thanks for coming to another storytime with your favorite storyteller, Andrew. You're going to love this one. While you're here, why not hit subscribe and the like button? It really helps with the algorithm. If you don't, I'll delete your Fortnite account. Anyways, let's get into the stories. How far away from the anus can poop be on your skin before cleaning it with just paper is no longer okay? If you could not describe it as part of your butt without making up an excuse as to why it is still your butt, don't just wipe. Does anyone else wait for the final pee after pooping to confirm it's all done, or is that just a thing I do? Yes. I call it sweet release after a particularly bad lengthy dump. Edit. Yes, I named it before the thread, and no, I don't have any other names for other bodily functions, unless you count me referring to cooming occasionally as pee-pee upchuck. Why do you play music loudly out of your phone? Is it because you can't afford headphones? Do you figure you'd be the DJ for the whole train car to make everyone's commute more fun? Do you think the music is so good and revolutionary that it must be shared with everyone? I'm genuinely curious about the thought process here. How the hell did you get this job, you ignorant, stupid, useless, lazy duck? Every time my boss asks me how to spell a simple word or edit atrociously written emails, I ask myself, how the duck do you have a doctorate? Edit. To the people who keep asking. No, she is not dyslexic. She is also not brilliant at what she does, dentistry. I've worked at this clinic 11 years, and after she took over 5 years ago, she's managed to lose over half of our patients because her skill set only goes as far as cleanings, fillings, and the odd crown. For everything else, she refers our patients to other doctors. Many got sick and tired of always having to go elsewhere to get work done, so they left. She's been a dentist for 20 years, by the way, so this is not something that's new to her. And no, she is not profoundly brilliant in other ways. She's quite shallow and materialistic, to be honest. Loves celebrity gossip and such. Everything I know about her and continue to learn is why I question how she managed to get a doctorate. Edit 2. Oh, and I know her father was quite wealthy, so that is one guess as to how she managed to get where she is. Why is every Latino neighborhood I've lived in so damn loud? Is there some cultural stigma against playing music that can't be heard by the whole block? Noise is deeply rooted in our cultures. I'm Mexican, and in my hometown it is very hard to find a quiet neighborhood. We have noisy events all around us, all the time. The damn church bells, fireworks to celebrate a saint, vending trucks with loudspeakers, crazy evangelists from fringe Christian sects preaching in a corner, people having house parties with loud music at 2 a.m., etc. The police won't even bother to knock on their doors if you file a report most of the time, and if they do, there is nothing they can do without a warrant. Another really popular thing is to pimp cheap Chinese-made scooters with sound systems and blast awful music through the streets. The latest damnation for those of us that like peace and quiet are smartphones. Now every jerk with a $100 phone can blast his or her tunes. It's like they don't know of the existence of headphones. You see them walking in the street holding the phone in their hands, playing music through the loudspeaker. How badly does childbirth mess up your body? Is it ever to the point where a woman regrets having children, and/or does it ever go fully back to normal? What are the other things that happen that they don't tell you about? My body got so ridiculously ducked up after my kid. My abs are permanently ruined. My skin on my stomach will never go back to normal. I will always have saggy skin there until I can get surgery. My son was so large that I have deep stretch marks that run from my sternum to my hip bones. I had never had problems with depression or mental health until I gave birth, and now I'm just a walking basket case. I am on medication for it, and it is helping. When I gave birth, my vagina was cut to make room for my son, but he stopped breathing, and I had to get him out on only one more push, and I ripped all the way down. And I mean all the way down. I will never fully heal and will always have scar tissue. I wanted a baby for so long and tried for years to get him, and I am thankful, but sometimes I wish I could have enjoyed my previous body a little longer. Childbirth is no joke, that crap is hard. Did my dad ever shoot anyone in Vietnam? I asked him once when I was little and he said no, but what else was he gonna tell a little kid? I asked that question once on a road trip. He obliged to tell me his stories on the condition that was the one time he had to talk about them. That was the day I earned a robust fear of the capabilities of my quiet, reserved, and loving father. Edit for those who are asking. Dad was part of one of a couple of units tasked with the unenviable chore of trying to determine areas harboring or aiding the Viet Cong. Searching villages, searching farms, looking for information or supplies that would tell them the VC were being supplied there. Dad said they destroyed a lot of homes, a lot of farms, and a lot of lives. He mentioned to me that they knew what they were doing felt messed up, but they had orders to disrupt VC supply and movement any way possible. People suspected of being Viet Cong were often killed. He told me he justified it at the time as being in a kill or be killed environment. My dad left the military in 1975 and went on to be a school administrator. I like to think he dealt with what he experienced by trying to be a good person and make a positive contribution to the world since then. I know he was and still is a great dad. He's mostly retired now and has a nice house on Lake Cumberland with Mom. He definitely earned it. I wish I could get him to do an AMA on a couple parts of his life. He has some unique experiences to tell, but I'm not sure how to bridge that subject with him. So if I'm at a rap concert and everyone is screaming the lyrics to the song and I'm white, am I allowed to say the N-word if it's in the song? Black guy here. I don't use the N-word. Never said it out loud in my entire life, realized that about a year ago actually. I get slightly offended when non-black people say it. Less so nowadays. Personally, I wouldn't care if you said it in a concert, but I would advise you to not say it in a group of black strangers. You have to establish an understanding with a group of friends. As a white person, you have to go out of your way to not appear racist, which is unfair, but that's the world we live in. As a black man, I have to go out of my way to not appear like a scary criminal, just to be treated like a human being in a few cases, which isn't fair, but it's the world we live in. So basically, don't chance it around strangers. Establish an understanding with black friends. Alternatively, just try to let go of your desire to say it. It seems like every white person I know under the age of 50 has a strong urge to say it. Personally, if you say it in front of me, that just tells me you have no respect for me, so I'd stop associating with you. I believe you have every right to say it, and I, in turn, have the right to not like it, walk away, and then burn that bridge. Edit. I don't actually burn bridges, I'm afraid of fire. I'm not a Targaryen. Edit. While it doesn't offend me or hurt when a black person drops N-bombs, I tend to not have respect for that person. But 99% of the time, the type of black person that uses the N-word didn't have my respect in the first place. There are a few exceptions, mainly the people who know that using it is a fault. Some black people just can't help but say it. I know I can't help myself saying nice or lols in everyday conversation, so I imagine it's just hard sometimes, especially when you grow up in that environment. At the same time though I grew up in that environment. I guess I was just enough of an outsider, fat, quiet all the time, artist, computer dork before it was cool to know how to do computers, etc. etc. So I never got into what all my peers got into. Funnily enough, even though I went to mostly black schools, never more than like 20 whites out of hundreds of students, I ended up having only one black friend and two white friends. In our group of friends, the white guys love stuff like Kanye and Lil Wayne, while the black guys hate it. My black friend prefers soft rock and emo stuff and is currently in a hipster phase, which we remind him of constantly. And he keeps denying, and I'm into metal, but looking at me, you'd probably never know. It's like our stereotypes have flipped, but I guess it's now a stereotype that white people love that stuff now. Edit. The white people want to say the N-word thing is just a generalization. Obviously it's not all, but in my experience, a lot of them have some degree of a desire or rather, some fascination with the word. It's not a bad thing. In fact, not saying it but wanting to show good character, I think. I actually go out of my way to never ever say the CR word, even when I have to use it in the proper context, the only time I'd ever use it. And even knowing that white people just aren't gonna be offended by it, even if it were used as a racial slur. It just doesn't sound as deep like the N-word does to some black people. But I still can't say it. I can't say any racial slurs, except maybe Frenchman and gobshite and Justin Bieber lover, no offense. Thanks for watching. What did you think of the story time? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any more story times.